No one in the Dracaran Empire had ever seen their queen stop breathing. Queen Valthrixa, the Ember, last daughter of the ancient flame, ruler of 1,000 molten worlds, was a being of fire and iron. Her scales were blackened obsidian veined with living gold. Her wings had blotted out suns in wartime. Her roar alone had ended rebellions. She did not freeze, and yet, in the grand hall of ash and stars, before nobles, generals, and emissaries from 100 species, she did exactly that, because a human stranger lifted a simple wooden instrument to his lips and played a melody no dragon had heard in over 5 centuries. The Dracaran did not invite humans often, not because humans were weak far from it, but because they were unsettling. They were small, soft, and short-lived, yet they spoke to gods without fear, stared down monsters without bowing, and carried memories in fragile things like paper and songs. This particular human had arrived unannounced. No royal convoy, no planetary heralds, just a lone transport requesting landing permission, its pilot claiming to be a musician. The court laughed. The general scoffed. The queen allowed him in because Valthrixa had lived long enough to know that when the universe sends something small into the path of a great fire, it is never an accident. The human's name was Elias Rowan. He wore no armor, no insignia of rank, no diplomatic colors, just a long, dark coat, travel-worn boots, and an object slung across his back in a case made of old leather. When asked why he had come to the heart of dragon space alone, he bowed awkwardly, imperfectly, and said only, "I was invited." A very long time ago. The court demanded proof. Valthrixa said nothing. She felt it then, an ache she had not allowed herself to feel in centuries. A pressure behind the heart. A warmth that was not flame. She ordered him to speak. Elias looked up at her, meeting the gaze that had broken warlords and gods alike. "I'm not here to speak, Your Majesty," he said softly. "I'm here to play." Outrage erupted. Music was a private art among dragons, an ancient thing tied to memory, grief, and mating bonds. To offer it unasked was an insult. The queen raised one clawed hand. Silence fell like ash. "Play," she said. Elias opened the case. Inside was a human flute, hand-carved, old beyond measure. Its surface was etched with tiny symbols, human, draconic, and others long forgotten. He lifted it and played. The first note was gentle, not loud, not impressive, but it carried. It slipped through the vast hall, through stone and flame and pride, and settled somewhere deep, where memory lived. Valthrix's breath caught. The second note followed. Then a third, weaving into a melody that did not command attention, but asked for it. The dragon nobles shifted uneasily. The generals felt heat sting their eyes. And the queen saw green skies. She was no longer seated on her throne of molten gold. She was young. Her scales were brighter then, her wings unscarred. She stood on a cliff, overlooking a world not yet burned by war. Beside her stood a human, tall, laughing, reckless. Aaron, the first human explorer to land on Dracaran Prime, the only one who had not bowed. He had brought no weapons, only curiosity and music. "I don't have gold or fire," he had told her centuries ago, "but I have this." He had played that same melody beneath alien stars, hands trembling, heart open, a human love song, simple, fragile. Una rmored. Dragons loved rarely, but when they did, It was forever. Aaron had died, as humans always did, too fast. Too soon, his body unable to withstand the passing of years the way hers could. She had held him as the fire went out of his eyes. She had sealed the memory away, buried it beneath empire and conquest. She had forbidden the song, and now it lived again. Rose from her throne. The hall shook. Elias did not stop playing, even as the shadow of the Dragon Queen fell over him. His hands trembled. Now but the melody did not break. Tears' liquid flame ran down Veltrix's scaled face. "Who taught you that song?" she demanded, voice cracking the stone. Elias finished the final note and lowered the flute. "My great-great-great-grandfather," he said quietly. "And his father before him." "And his," the court gasped. "That melody," Elias continued, "has been passed down in my family for 512 years. We were told it was a promise, that one day, when the stars aligned, we were to return it." He knelt. He said the Dragon Queen would remember. Silence reigned. Then Velthrixa did something no living being had ever witnessed. She knelt too, a queen, a god of flame, kneeling before a human. "You are of his blood," she whispered. Elias nodded, tears finally falling. "He loved you," he said simply, "so much that he refused to let the song die." The dragon nobles watched history rewrite itself that day. The Dracaran Empire changed, not through war, not through conquest, but through remembrance. Vaelthryxa declared humanity bloodkin of the flame, a status no species had ever held. Human worlds were placed under Dracaran protection. Trade routes opened. Knowledge flowed. But more than that, the Queen allowed music into the halls again. Human musicians were welcomed. Dragon songs once thought too powerful to share were taught to human composers. Together, they created something new, something stronger than fire. As for Elias, Rowanhigh did not become a noble. He did not take power. He remained what he was, a musician. But when he played, even the stars leaned closer, and sometimes, late at night, when the Queen stood alone on her balcony overlooking the galaxy, Elias would play that old melody again, not as a lament, but as a continuation, because humans, fragile and fleeting, had done what even dragons could not. They had carried love across centuries, and reminded an immortal Queen that even fire needs a song to remember why it burns. Asterisk.